It's not often that we come across phenomenal movies come to life, films which tread the thin line between humor, action, and emotion. Taika Waititi has done just that, creating phenomenal masterpieces such as Jojo Rabbit. For those of you who love this comedy-drama film with a powerful message, we have compiled a list of similar movies for you to enjoy. Let's get started. First up, here's a little dive into the world of Jojo Rabbit. Taika Waititi is quite a busy man. When our favorite filmmaker isn't busy turning Thor into the funniest character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he releases films like Jojo Rabbit to stay true to his quirky indie roots. With his work on this World War II satire, he reached a creative and critical high point in 2019. Attempting to inject humor into a story about fascism, violence, and discrimination could have easily backfired, but Waititi was able to portray one of history's most heinous periods through the eyes of a child. Exploring the origins and horrors of World War II through the eyes of a child is quite a risky technique. If it is successful, it will evoke empathy in the viewer. When it fails, critics and audiences will accuse it of being exploitative. And of course, the internet is a ruthless place when it deems a piece of art to be exploitative. But the filmmaker has been successful in his pursuits. The movie tells a story of a young Nazi boy who has an imaginary Hitler friend and whose mother is hiding a Jewish adolescent girl in their home. Jojo not only learns about empathy from his caring mother, played by Scarlett Johansson, but he also learns some harsh life lessons from his best friend, a fictitious version of Adolf Hitler. Waititi won his first Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for Jojo Rabbit. Come and See is arguably the most memorable film of this genre, but be warned, it is not a comedy and will ruin your day. Forbidden Games is a gentler classic that is equally moving and powerful. If you aren't a blubbering mess by the end of those, try The Tin Drum, The Diary of Anne Frank, or The Boy in the Striped Pajamas for more World War II films from the perspective of children. Side note, keep a box of tissues by your side. If you enjoyed his Jojo Rabbit, we have compiled a list of 11 films that are sure to keep you busy on the weekends. On the top of our list, we have Life is Beautiful. Jojo Rabbit expertly navigates the difficult topics of World War II and the Holocaust by portraying them through the eyes of a child. This was a major theme in another Academy Award-winning classic, Life is Beautiful by Roberto Benigni. Guido Orefice, a charming Italian Jew whose family is kidnapped during Italy's occupation, is played by Benigni. Guido goes to great lengths to convince his young son, Josué, Giorgio Cantorini, that they are participants in a great game and are destined to win a prize. Second, we have The Great Dictator. Now, Waititi and his work have often been compared to his forebearer, Charlie Chaplin. Needless to say, the man was inspired by Charlie Chaplin's classic satire for Jojo Rabbit, being nervous about playing a comedic version of Hitler. Chaplin plays two characters in this Academy Award-nominated classic, a good-natured Jewish private dubbed the Barber, and the fascist dictator Adenoid Hinkle, an amalgamation of Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini. Even though their obvious similarities result in a comedy of errors, Chaplin made his point clear in the film's fiery ending monologue, in which he delivers a stirring condemnation of fascism, extremism, and militarism. Next up, we have Empire of the Sun, another classic that you'll enjoy. Steven Spielberg has always indulged in telling stories about lost boys and broken families, and Empire of the Sun explored this theme through the eyes of a young boy in the era of World War II. Jim Graham, played by Christian Bale, like Jojo, is an unlikable protagonist at first. He's a privileged British child with no understanding of the world's events. When Jim is separated from his family in Japan, he matures as he meets survivors and embarks on the long journey home to see his family again. Moving on, we have Good Morning Vietnam. Robin Williams, like Waititi, can make us laugh even when discussing a subject as serious as war. Williams received his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for his portrayal of Adrian Cronauer, an American radio disc jockey who uses his eccentric commentary to distract his brothers-in-arms from the trials of the Vietnam War. Although Robin's humor makes Good Morning Vietnam a heartwarming classic, it does not minimize the nature of America's role in the conflict or disrespect the men who died. Next up, The Book Thief is one of the movies that had to make it on our list. Jojo Rabbit demonstrated that even amid World War II, brighter things could emerge. Jojo and Elsa share some tender moments while reading together. This is a major theme in The Book Thief, Marcus Zusak's acclaimed novel, which was adapted in 2013. The story follows Liesel, an orphaned girl who is taught to read by her adopted father, Hans Huberman. Hans begins assisting the escaped Jewish man Max from his Nazi pursuers, putting Liesel's family in danger. This is a story about family, love, and loss. Please be warned of the tears and sobs. Next, we have Pan's Labyrinth, the perfect balance between fantasy and dark reality. Although Jojo begins to learn about his surroundings, he uses his imagination to explain things he does not understand. Guillermo del Toro's 2006 dark fantasy film Pan's Labyrinth embodies these themes. The film follows the young girl Ophelia, whose mother Carmen is about to marry the cruel military leader Captain Vidal in fascist Spain during the 1940s. Ophelia flees her reality by traveling to a fairy tale underworld, where she is crowned princess by an unusual group of magical creatures. Next on our list, we have Hunt for the Wilder People. If you liked how Waititi balanced comedy and drama in Jojo Rabbit, you might like his previous film, Hunt for the Wilder People. It's a film about coping with tragedy, similar to Jojo Rabbit. Ricky Baker, an orphan, unexpectedly loses his adopted mother, Bella Faulkner. As they flee from local hunters and authorities, he is forced to bond with his steely adopted father, Heck. The unlikely pair embark on a run in the vast New Zealand bush, avoiding both the law and child services. A story about a national manhunt? Count us in. Number 8 on our list of recommendations is none other than Moonrise Kingdom. In this 2012 dramedy, Wes Anderson demonstrated the beauty of childhood innocence. Sometimes a child's ignorance is far more insightful than those who claim to be intellectuals. In this distinctly Wes Anderson-y adventure, the orphaned Boy Scout Sam Shakusky, portrayed by Jared Gilman, and the rich girl Susie, played by Kara Hayward, both feel out of place on separate sides of the social hierarchy and decide to run away together. Moving on, we have a relatively lighter film, Isle of Dogs. Anderson demonstrated that he could bring his signature style to children's animated films with Fantastic Mr. Fox, but his second animated film, Isle of Dogs, tackled more serious topics such as dictatorship and environmental mistreatment. Isle of Dogs is set in fascist Japan, where mass pollution has resulted in a trash island inhabited by the dogs Chief Rex, Duke, King, and Boss. When Atari visits the island in search of his missing dog, Spots, Chief and gang agree to assist him. Now, let's take a look at the Florida Project. By now, we all agree on one fact. Seeing the essence of true disparity through the distorted eyes of a child who doesn't know any better adds to the tragedy. With his powerful 2017 drama, The Florida Project, Sean Baker did not shy away from the truth about poverty. Set against the backdrop of Disney World, the film follows Mooney as she grows up in the Magic Castle Motel with her mother, Hallie. Mooney's childhood innocence is shattered when Hallie is investigated by Child Protective Services despite the kindness of the motel's owner. The last movie that we'd love to recommend is, of course, Belfast. Waititi's Jojo Rabbit felt like a passion project, and his fellow Thor franchise director Kenneth Branagh received similar praise for his semi-autobiographical coming-of-age dramedy Belfast. This masterpiece looks at the troubles in Northern Ireland during the August 1969 riots through the eyes of one family. Buddy, brought to life by Jude Hill, is concerned that his parents, played by Jamie Dornan and Katrina Balfe, will be separated due to the political unrest. At the 94th Academy Awards, the film received 7 nominations, including Best Picture and 1 for Best Original Screenplay. The National Board of Review named it one of the best films of 2021, and it tied with The Power of the Dog for the most nominations at the 79th Golden Globe Awards, including Best Motion Picture Drama and 1 for Best Screenplay. Do we need to convince you any further? You'll be hooked to this movie from the get-go. This is all we have for today. Let us know if you have seen any of these movies and if you enjoyed them as much as we did. We'll see you all in our next video. Bye!